How's it going, everyone? It's TITOKMF here, and the moment that we've all been waiting for is finally here. The VGC 2020 rule set has been officially released. I was at work earlier today. I saw it. I blew up on my phone. I tried to, I did see a little bit of it, obviously, but I tried not to really get into it. But obviously, the big news concerning Gigantamax being legal, but we're going to get into that right now. This video will consist of not only analysis of the rule set, kind of breaking it down for everybody, but also, in addition to that, a general kind of feelings about the meta, kind of feelings of what I think Gigantamax is going to do to the competitive scene, as well as the overall structure of VGC, and also maybe some early tips and tricks, some initial impressions. We're also going to go through a lot of the legal Gmax moves at the end of this video, just so everyone's caught up to speed, just so everyone has that reference for them. Links to everything that I use, Serbi, Bubblepedia, as well as the VGC website will be in the description below if you guys want to go ahead and look at that yourself. But enough talking, we're getting right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the VGC 2020 rule set, as reported, not only by VGC themselves, but as well as Serbi. So, the big thing here, in addition to that, and we're actually going to go over to this first, is the VGC rule set in a nutshell here. It essentially is a lot of what we expected. Not only are, obviously the legendaries are banned, as well as the mythical Pokemon, but Gigantamax is allowed. So as opposed to the Dynamax, Gigantamax itself is allowed. So that's going to create a huge change in the shift. Right now on the ranked ladder on VGC, you're actually not allowed to Gigantamax. You're allowed to Dynamax any Pokemon, obviously, but Gigantamax is not legal on the ladder right now, so I'm expecting that to change fairly soon. I would yeah, pretty soon, I would assume. So it's going to be really important to make sure that we're all doing that. And so just as a general sense, we're also going to head over to the official VGC website. Again, all the links in the description will be here for that. So we're gonna get right into this as well. We're gonna go through this. I just wanted to give you guys, a couple of different options in terms of where you get your news here. This has a more breakdown of the point system, and we're getting into that after we get into the points or the format. So, as always, VGC will be consisting of double battles here as well. Each player will need their own Nintendo Switch or Lite and a physical or digital copy of Sword and Shield to compete. So that's obvious. You will need to have a Galar symbol showing that they were caught in Galar. So you can't just transfer Pokemon, especially with Pokemon Home coming out, etc. All Pokemon from the Galar region will be permitted except for mythical Pokemon and certain legendary Pokemon, Zacian, Zamazenta, Eternatus, and any mythicals that are in the game as well. All Pokemon will be set to level 50, including those below 50. So reality, that makes competitive for a lot of younger players, especially in the junior division, who are just kind of learning. They don't want to grind all the way up to 50. So getting a Pokemon to like level 4, if that's all you need, get all the EVs done, put it in your battle box, then you're done. You can't use duplicate Pokemon or duplicate items. There is the items clause here. So the preview selection screen will be 90 seconds, which is a fair amount of time. I would have liked 2 minutes. I don't think the extra 30 seconds actually matters in terms of the structure of the event. Excuse me. But 90 seconds is fine, but I would have liked a full 2 minutes. But this is a big thing, and which is going to really accelerate the game, and which is, I think, what they're really trying for. Players will each have 7 minutes of your time, and I'll get into that in a second, 45 seconds of move time, and now return to VGC, 55 minutes of game time in each battle. So my understanding is what that means is you will have 7 minutes of your time, meaning that it's a chess timer. So your time is 7 minutes. You can expend that as much as you want up until 45 seconds. So you have full 45 seconds if I'm reading that correctly. Every game must take 15 minutes. So the totality from the beginning of the game to the end of the game will take 15 minutes. You are allowed at a chess timer of 7 minutes, and your individual move will take 45 seconds. I believe that's how it works. They might have changed the terminology, but that is my best understanding. And if I need to make a correction, I'll make that in the video in the comment section below. But at the time of recording, which is maybe a couple of hours after this news is announced, that is my understanding of the rule set. That you player, me, so you versus me, you have 7 minutes, I have 7 minutes, and that is a chess timer. So as soon as you're done with your move, your time will stop, And then, so if I use 30 seconds on turn 1, then I'll have 6 minutes and 30 seconds remainder to make the rest of my moves up until 45 seconds for each round, which is my understanding. Again, if I have to make that correction, that clarification, I'll make that in the description below. Okay, so this is where we get into it. Additional restrictions apply to Pokemon that are capable of Gigantamaxing. While such Pokemon are very rare, there are sometimes opportunities to find them more frequently. For instance, Friday, November 15th until early January, you can find Dreadnought, Corviknight, and Butterfree really easily in the game. The list of species permitted to Gigantamax will expand every few months on these events, in which Pokemon will become more common. The Play Pokemon VGC VG rules and formats document on the Play resources page will update every few months to indicate these Pokemon are permitted for use. So what that means basically is that as they roll out these events to make Gigantamax Pokemon certain, even though most of them are in the game and available to get, as they become more common, you will be allowed to get them and use them in competition. So for example, it's kind of hard to get Gigantamax Duraludon at the moment. You have to basically reset for it or get really lucky. Or reset for it. So until they release that official event to make it easier without any, you know, basically workarounds with the reset to get that Pokemon, you will not be able to use that Pokemon in an official VGC competition. You have to wait until the event releases and then you can use it. So you can catch it now, so you don't have to wait, so you just have it forever, which is probably what I'll do. I'll probably just have what I want for all of them, and then you know, make sure I get all my hidden abilities or whatever abilities I need, make sure the natures, make sure the EVs are good, and just put it in a box until I can use them. Little pro tip, make sure, so what I'm gonna do for my stream and what my competitive teams, I'm gonna put the Gigantamax Pokemon that are VGC eligible in a box separate from the other Gigantamax Pokemon, just so I know which one is which is which. So a list of all the Gigantamax Pokemon that are available for competition as of January 4th, which is when the format switches to Sword and Shield. Butterfree, Corviknight, Dreadnought, Centiskorch, Meowth, Pikachu, Eevee, Snorlax, Sandaconda, and Charizard. And the reason why Charizard is only because you get one for free at the end of the game. They go into Leon's room and he just gives you, or go into your room rather, and you just get a, no, I think it's Leon's room. You go into someone's room at the beginning, go into Leon's room, your room, and you'll get a Charizard, and he'll just give you a Charizard that can Gigantamax for beating the game. And then so all that. So that's a lot of information, but the big thing is that you can only use these certain Gigantamax Pokemon, and we're gonna break down each of them individually. It's mainly the move, but your time and move time and 15-minute game timers, those are really important for competitive play, because time management's really important. Being able to know how much time you have left, making sure you pick your moves efficiently, making sure that you're making the moves ahead of time kind of in your mind is really important. Now I'm assuming the animations are really long in this game, so I'm assuming because it's 7 minutes of your time, you know what I mean? I assume move time means, it could either mean move time, like actually the Pokemon animations are 45 seconds, but that wouldn't make any sense. So I'm assuming it's your move. That's a really weird thing. So I'm really actually curious. I might ask a judge I know about that. So I'll put a clarification in the comment section. I'll pin it. But here we have the VGC Premier Challenge, Regionals, International Challenges, CP. This is how you qualify for Worlds. This is what you want. You want a certain number of championship points to get into Worlds. And I am not sure the total number this year. I'm not sure the total number this year, actually. I think it's like 400. I think. I'm not entirely sure. So I don't want to say that I know, because I definitely do not. But if you're interested in that, again, the link will be in the description below. Again, these have just released, as well as a list of regionals, which is really cool. Off the top of my head, so obviously we're recording this as of December 12th, so the next one is in San Diego, but the first regional championship that will take place in the new format will be in Germany, so be excited for that. But I'll probably be going to, I'll be attending Collinsville, Illinois. I'll be attending Charlotte, North Carolina in March, and I'll be attending Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I might attend Salt Lake City, depending. It's April 4th, so actually probably. I actually might do Santa Clara too as kind of a vacation, but I'll be going to at least 3-4 regional events. So if you see me there, holla at your boy. The United States International Challenge, I go every year, so I'll probably be there depending, no matter where it is. So yeah, so let's get into, so that was the VGC format. Again, if you have any questions or some clarification or stuff like that, that's the knowledge in which best I understand it. The move time versus your time, I really want to get clarification on that. So by the time this video will post, expect that somewhere in the comments below, kind of clarification for that. But yeah, let me guys know what you think about the format, and kind of what you're thinking, what you like. Make sure you go ahead and ask your friends if they direct them to this video if they're not necessarily sure how this works. So we are going to get into the Gmax moves for a second. So again, this link will be on the description below. This is courtesy of Bulbapedia. Shout out to them. We're going to go through the list of Pokemon that you are eligible to use. So remember, there's this list here. You can only use this, even though a bunch of these most of these you can get right now, but you can only use this one. So let's get into it. First thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna look at Charizard. So Charizard has Gmax Wildfire, which inflicts 4 turns on non-fire type Pokemon. So yeah, I'm not necessarily sure if that's better than Scent of Scorches, but we'll get to that. Butterfree, Gmax Befuddle inflicts poison, paralysis, or sleep on the target, which is pretty cool. Very utility based. I don't know if you're gonna want to use your Gmax on the Butterfree, but could be just because of its typing and stats aren't that great. But it does get Compound Eyes, which is pretty cool. So maybe. Pikachu paralyzes everyone, all opponents. Pretty cool. Meowth is bad. Scatters coin on the card and confuses. Just confuses everybody. Kind of bad. Don't see much use of that, but it looks funny. So that's cool. Eevee. Eevee is also bad. Gmax Cuddle opposes opponents of the opposite gender of the user become infatuated. Infatuation is really gimmicky and it doesn't really work, and you're never going to want to use a Gmax on an Eevee for that, even if it's Eviolite. So don't expect people using that. As of this recording, Gmax Snorlax is officially out. So Gmax Replenish restores a used berry. So if you the meta kind of right now at the time of this recording in VGC is that you at least have 1, probably 2 berries on your team. Citrus berry, and then either a pinch berry or a type berry somewhere on your team to kind of live hits. So this could be pretty good. It really depends on the composition of your team, but I'm really excited to kind of see where that goes. That move could be sick, and Snorlax is actually was a monster at the beginning of Sun and Moon, and basically it was basically usable the entirety of the game up until the end of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, unrestricted format, where you were just using a bunch of legendaries. But even then, it was still saying some niche play. So Snorlax is actually a very good Pokemon in my opinion. You know, it has pretty decent coverage. It's obviously really bulky. It gets a good ability. The nerf to pinch berries kind of hurts Snorlax a lot, but because you can recycle a berry, it's not that bad. So you can like use a berry, and you're gonna go last because you're Snorlax. They're gonna hit you. You're gonna go down to your berry. You're gonna hit them, right? Because it's still an attack. So you're gonna hit them with like Giga Impact or whatever you want to. You're gonna do a bunch of damage, unless it, you know, you're gonna do a bunch of damage, and then you're gonna get your pinch berry back. And because you're either running Thick Fat, or if you're running Gluttony, you're gonna eat that berry again. You'll be up to like 75% health. So it's pretty cool. So we're gonna go down to Corviknight here. Gmax win range. It's really niche, and I really like it, and I think that it's a good option to have in your team. A lot of teams have Corviknight on it anyway, and so you can have multiple Pokemon that can Gmax on your team, but you can't Gmax them, so because you can only Dynamax once per turn, once per game. So I like this as kind of like a pivot. So I think Corviknight, you'll actually see Gmax win range, Gmax Corviknight more than you think you will, because Reflect, Light Screen are becoming prevalent, especially because Grimmsnarl is busted. So that one's pretty good. Gmax Stone Surge from Dreadnought. It's a water type move that puts Stealth Rocks up. I think that's so cool. Stealth Rocks in doubles has historically been not very good, but because you get it off an attacking move, I think that's actually pretty decent. Especially since there are going to be a lot of flying types walking around. Gyarados, Corviknight, Braviary especially. A lot of these flying types are going to come through. They're going to get hit by this rocks. A lot of other Pokemon get hit by rocks. They just can't afford to take that extra damage, considering that everything does so much damage in this generation. So that move I actually expect to see some play. Not going to be the best, obviously, but I do expect that move to see some play, especially early on as people are testing. I'm really, really excited to see where that goes. Sandaconda, here we go. So Sandaconda, Gmax Sandblast. Traps the opponent in a sandstorm and causes damage for 4 turns. This sandstorm is considered different from the weather condition. So, it's basically just a sand fire spin. So you can have sand up and then take damage from the Gmax Sandblast, and then them take damage from the sandstorm. So a lot of damage over time. Sandaconda, I am not sure how I feel about the Pokemon. I don't know if it's good or bad yet. All I do know is that it's pretty funny. It's really good at setting weather, obviously, with its ability. So I expect to see this a little bit, especially on sand teams. If they're looking for a Gmax Pokemon, I expect them to favor Sandaconda. They're running Sandaconda, Tyranitar, Excadrill, that kind of core. And I believe the last one, the last one that is legal here is Gmax Centiskorch with Gmax Centiferno. Traps the opponent's flame in flames and causes damage for 4 to 5 turns. So this is basically, if my understanding is correct, a better version of Charizard's move, because it hits fire types, and it itself has Flash Fire, which is pretty cool. The only bad thing is that Centiskorch isn't as good as Charizard, and I mean, at least it does very different things. Flash Fire is a cool ability. It has things like Lunge, it has Leech Life, it has I think it definitely gets Leech Life, has Flare Blitz, has good coverage for what it needs to do. So not sure if the Gmax move is going to benefit one or the other. People just might be like, I want to run Charizard, like Charizard's objectively better. But that's the big difference, that Charizard can't hit fire types. This thing can. So now that we've gone through all of the kind of minutia of it, these are the mons that are eligible for Gigantamax legal in VGC as of January 4th. Pikachu, Eevee, Meowth, Charizard, Butterfree, Corviknight, Dreadnought, Centiskorch, Sandaconda, and Snorlax. So these are the 10 Pokemon that you're allowed to Gigantamax, you're allowed to bring to a battle. Now, of these 10, I think in any tournament, you're only going to see 7 or 8 of them. I don't think you're ever going to see Meowth, and I don't think you're ever going to see Eevee. I think you might see Pikachu, Light Ball Pikachu specifically. You may see it, especially at the beginning when everyone's kind of testing stuff out. But a majority of it is going to be Charizard, Butterfree, Corviknight, Dreadnought, Centiskorch, Sandaconda, and Snorlax. Those are going to be the 7 out of the 10. Now remember, as the format develops, and more importantly, as Pokemon themselves release and Game Freak releases these events that allow you to catch these Pokemon, the other Gigantamax Pokemon, they will be added to the pool of mons that you are allowed to bring. So you are going to get changes into the meta, and you're going to get more options, which I think is super, super cool. It's kind of like you're getting a new format, a new allowed list, a new ban list, like a reverse ban list. So that's really, really cool. So that's kind of the breakdown, the general overview of the format. In general, I really want to see how Gigantamax works. I think Dynamax itself in VGC is not as bad nearly as it is in doubles or in singles. I think in singles it's really broken, but in doubles I think you can play around a little bit more, especially since I've been playing a lot of it on ladder. It's not as unbalanced as I thought it was going to be. Now with the addition of Gmax, I do think that some of these Gmax moves have potential to be a little bit of a problem, especially, but a lot of them are really gimmicky. They're really specific. So I think that actually compensates for the fact that you want to do a specific thing in your team. Do you want to restore berries? Do you want to set sand? Do you want to set rocks? Do you want to break screens? Do you want to confuse and, paralyze for somebody? I think a lot of them are very, very specific. And I think because of that, in addition to the fact that, they're on mons that are usable in some way, they're on mons that are usable and if not very, very good, you're going to see a lot of Gmax, and a lot, obviously. But I think it's actually going to be a pretty good format. I'm really excited to see how this format goes. I mean, it's only a month away for the new beginning of the format, so I'm super, super excited to see where that goes. Let me know what you guys think. I'm still going to be playing with this. I'm going to start, getting on Showdown, rocking some Showdown videos with you guys. start building teams in the game. So I'm really excited, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate it. I know it was a longer video than I normally do, but there was just so much information. I really want to get into it. But thank you guys so much. Make sure to go ahead and follow the stream. All the links are in the description below. New subs. It's going to be a huge year for not only me, but for all of Pokemon. Route 1, the EP coming out. I'm going to be streaming a lot of VGC official events, especially in my area. So I'll be commentating, rapping about Pokemon. Like, it's over. I'm about to take over the game. Okay, pocket's fat. That's why they need a heavy ball. That's what we're doing right now. Okay, we are out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's TITOKMF. Talk to you later.